in response to restricted American trade and press-ganging its citizens into the Royal Navy, the United States declared war on Britain in June 1812. Despite the odds, the Americans liked their chances.
That seems like a very David and Goliath sort of fight, but in fact, the British Navy was strung out all over the world. The entire Royal Navy wasn't coming to the coast of North America to fight the Americans.
The Americans never thought for a moment they could defeat the Royal Navy in a stand-up fight. But here was a chance, frigate to frigate, 1-to-1.
The USS Constitution was under the command of Captain Isaac Hull. Since the outbreak of war, he'd prepared his gun crews for an encounter with the British.
He knew if he was going to sail out from the United States, he was going to meet a warship of the Royal Navy that would have a very well-trained crew, very professional officers. So he wanted to be, of the same caliber as those men. The big feather in the cap of for any American captain would be to capture a British ship of equal or greater size. And he is very intent on doing that.
So Isaac Hull went hunting for British ships. On August 19, 1812, 600 miles from Boston, a frigate appeared on the horizon. This was the Royal Navy's Guerrière, which had been captured from the French 5 years earlier.
In the age of sail, almost all ships fit a certain type. They were not significantly different from one another. When the British captured French ships, they often took the ships into the Royal Navy, and Royal Navy sailors could go on board and run them just as if they were a Royal Navy ship.
For an hour, the Constitution and Guerrière drew closer, both jockeying for position.
The captain of that British ship, James Richard Dacres, was a young officer, only about 24 years old, but had been in the Navy for a long time, had seen some pretty hard service. So he was no novice. Neither was Isaac Hull, though, the American captain.
At 5 p.m., the battle began. Both ships exchanged broadsides. But the Guerrière's shots either missed or rebounded off the Constitution's tough oak hull.
It became clear very shortly that the American gunnery was superior to the British gunnery. A seaman named Moses Smith in the 1840s published a memoir about his time in the U.S. Navy. And he says that during the engagement, several of the shot from the enemy stuck in their hull. And one of the largest that they could command was seen to bounce off the side. And someone yelled, "Huzzay, her sides are made of iron."
From that day on, the USS Constitution has been affectionately known as Old Ironsides.
The British ship, on the other hand, really got the worst of it. After a few broadsides, the ship's mizzen mast, the smallest mast at the stern, fell over the side. The foremast followed. So the ship was basically incapacitated. And to preserve the rest of his crew, Captain Dacres surrendered.